Welcome to After Hours. My name is Rictor. I am your host.
Rictor!
What?
Leave him alone!
This shit is real.
Now we got Rictor going. We're going to have to hear about it all night.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of screaming memes out there, and that's the scoop that has been reported so far.
Thanks for dropping me like a stud.
I'm not interested in believing in something. Either it's real or it's not.
By your opinion that you are no-kill, you are dooming the species to be extinct.
They are what they are. It doesn't matter what we call them. Let's remove ourselves from them a little bit. And I think that's something that the Bigfoot community can actually learn a little bit from.
I actually am trying to push the envelope of science here.
When are we going to make a video, Rictor? And I mean not an X-rated one.
Dr. Todd, you've also been called the scoff dick.
Yeah, well.
Have these creatures stood against a backdrop of trees, I probably never would have seen them.
You can't talk about
I can!
So you guys are going to bag a Bigfoot and get us a body.
We're giving it our best efforts.
We thought that we had the holy grail of DNA.
Our hero, Bob Gimlin's with us.
Hello, is this thing on? Am I muted? Can you hear me?
Hey, Rictor, I've got a question for you. How does it feel to lose Bigfoot bounty?
My question is, why do you think Bigfoot is real?
Rictor does put a lot of effort into his costuming, doesn't he?
Yeah, well,
I mean,
by effort, if you mean bending over and picking up whatever's on the floor.
My!
Well, in my opinion, After Hours with Rictor is the #1 Bigfoot webcast.
What's your name again?
Don't piss Rictor off.
Rictor, behave.
Seth Breedlove is a writer, editor, producer, director, and filmmaker. We know him because of the Bigfoot movies he's made for his production company and the films they've produced under the Small Town Monsters banner. In 2013, Seth began working on the concept for a series titled Small Town Monsters. The first chapter in the series is the film Minerva Monster. Seth wrote and directed the film, and he has since begun working on more projects which fall under the Small Town Monsters umbrella, including The Beast of Whitehall, which he also acted as cinematographer on. Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward. In 2016, Seth directed and edited his first full-length feature, Boggy Creek Monster, which he played at the Bigfoot Film Festival this year in San Francisco. And since then, Seth followed it with the indie hit, The Mothman of Point Pleasant, which went on to garner Small Town Monsters a distribution deal by some big company out of Los Angeles. Now, Seth is currently working on his 5th and 6th films, Invasion on Chestnut Ridge and The Flatwoods Monster, A Legacy of Fear. In 2018, Seth's independent studio will move into full-scale film production with Small Town Monsters' first outsourced project, On the Trail of Champ, directed by Alexander Petakov. So here we are, Rictor and Seth Breedlove, two men walking the streets of San Francisco talking about Bigfoot. Now, my flame is a little bright and a little hot in this interview, so be warned, it's to be expected. I was in San Francisco hanging out with one of the best looking guys in the world of Bigfoot. Give me a break. I behaved as best as I could.
Hey, I'm Rictor from After Hours with Rictor, and I am here in San Francisco with Seth Breedlove. It's his first time out here on the West Coast at a Bigfoot event. We're here at the Bigfoot Bonanza at the Balboa Theater right behind us. And tonight at 9 o'clock, a movie of his is playing.
The Boggy Creek Monster movie.
That's your newest one.
That is the newest, yeah.
Now your first one, the Minerva Monster, you directed it?
Yes.
It was your idea? You created it?
It's my baby. They're all my babies, but Minerva especially is like my favorite story of all the movies we've done.
I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. But I haven't seen the other ones. The other one is Beast of Whitehall.
You almost forgot it, but then you remembered.
Yes. And now then it was Boggy Creek. the legend
continues.
Thank you.
No, it's Boggy Creek Monster.
I'm really prepared for this, but it's kind of on the spot interview.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what? Well, it was a woman driver.
Welcome to San Francisco.
Yeah. There she goes. At least not honking at us. Think we should continue?
Should we continue?
All right, let's go. All right, we're walking this way. All right, so he just finished the Boggy Creek, The Legend Continues, that has Lyle Blackburn in it.
The truth behind the legend, but we're real close.
Oh, shit. I'm horrible. And now he's working on something that's kind of buggy, the Mothman. Yeah. So now you've gone from Bigfoot to Mothman.
Yes.
What are the similarities? What are the challenges? What are the difference?
Red eyes are the similarity. No, I mean, it's still like an awesome story, and it's still, you know, a weird creature sighting in a small town. There's still all the parameters that establish what is a small town monsters movie, which is it's a weird creature sighting that blows up, becomes a cultural phenomenon in the area where it takes place, somehow impacts the community in a major way, and inevitably is semi-forgotten or completely embraced by the community, and the creature becomes a local mascot, like with the Mothman story.
And I thought, Lord, what can I do? This thing is here. This evil presence. And I turned my head to the right. I mean, I can still feel that, really. And to me, it was the devil, Mothman, standing there. And I tried to talk, and I couldn't. It was this awful, horrible feeling.
It did build in a crescendo. You know, there were more and more people looking for it. Word was getting out. So yeah, there was a kind of a media frenzy.
He saw that he wasn't losing it by going faster, and so he saw the turn that goes up into the TNT factory building. And I guess it come in his head at split second, if he turned up in there, it would keep going straight. But it didn't. He made that sharp turn, and it was still right there beside my window.
So all your movies kind of fit into that category.
Yes, they all follow those parameters, and I'm always looking for like similarities between them. So with Mothman, it has the armed posses of people looking for the monster, which also happened with Minerva and happened with Falk, the Boggy Creek Monster.
So what was your interest in all this? Have you always enjoyed Bigfoot? Have you always wanted to make Bigfoot movies / documentaries?
I mean, I always wanted to make movies. I don't think I ever saw myself being a Bigfoot or a cryptid filmmaker. We should walk up this way so there's less cameras.
All right. We'll change spot. We're changing positions.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
So
we're now in Castro. Here. Okay, over here's Numbers. Over here's the back door. And over here's Apollo, the sex shop.
That red house is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the red house. There's the red house. So continuing on.
What was I saying? I can't remember now. I got so distracted by the red house.
Your interest in Bigfoot.
Yeah. I mean, it's... Wait, what? My interest in Bigfoot?
Yeah. What got you started?
Am I interested in Bigfoot?
I think you are. You've made 3 movies.
Yeah, that's true. No,
it.
So like I grew up in a small town in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And Minerva was one of those stories that I was aware of as a kid. We would always talk about how there was like this ongoing thing where you don't go out in the woods after dark, or the Minerva Monster will get you.
Okay. The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. So he was like our local boogeyman. So I did kind of grow up aware of the Minerva Monster, and I did notice we choose to walk straight up.
You chose this direction.
This is.
And as the good bottom that I am, it's okay.
And
you know what that means?
I can figure that out.
This is a Rictor production. Hey.
As I started looking into these cases, when I finally got into the subject,
the pretty flowers.
That is cool.
Aww.
I started noticing that not all the stories, but most of these stories that I'm really into do have extreme similarities.
Okay.
So like, the only one that's slightly different is Whitehall. Like, I don't think with Whitehall that there were really people out looking for the creature with guns. Whereas Minerva, Mothman, Falk all have armed posses searching for the Frankenstein-like monster.
Right.
You know.
So, all these people that you've had on your documentaries, have you suspected any of them are lying?
In our movies, I have to word this. Thank you for asking that. That's a wonderful question.
Because I can smell bullshit a mile away, and if I was filming this and this guy's like, yep, Bigfoot's right behind me.
You know, I can only think of like one or two instances where we spoke to someone and I was like, I highly doubt this. I don't know that I ever, though, 100% assume someone's lying. Like, I have questions more about, like, is the person convinced somehow themselves that they're telling the truth?
Right.
Like, did they somehow convince themselves that they're telling the truth? Or do they genuinely think they saw something they did not see? You know? So I have those questions. And I'm always, as someone who's still somewhat skeptical, I'm always trying to figure out what else could be going on, if not.
Right. Now, as a filmmaker, would you have someone on that might be questionable with their integrity, or are you strictly kind of weeding people out beforehand, or? So because automatically, if someone says, "I saw this monster," 99.9% is probably lying.
Right. No, I think that's actually a pretty good statistic too. So when it comes to what we're doing, all my job is to objectively document the story itself. So what that means is anyone who claims to have had a role in this, short of, I mean, there are going to be things that are probably too far out there for even me. But if someone had a role in the story, we will film that interview and include it. If it's super questionable and I have not been able to corroborate it, we will put a disclaimer within their scene. The best example is there's a guy in Beast of Whitehall named John Winslow who claims to have been. How did it get so cold?
I noticed
San
that.
Francisco.
Here, I'll put my. You want to run my leather jacket?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I got this.
You know, gotta take care of you.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's good to have an interviewer who actually cares.
That's right. With ulterior motives.
So when we interviewed John, he claimed to have been at Abear Road, and we had no one to really corroborate that story that he claimed to know. So I actually talked to Lyle about it and asked Lyle if he thought I should include it or not, and Lyle said, in a case like that, I would definitely issue some sort of disclaimer, but I wouldn't necessarily cut him out of the movie because it was such a. If he's telling the truth, and then I think the narration. There goes Paul Walker. Boom! The ghost of Paul Walker.
Smells like fire.
Yeah, it does. Death and fire.
I apologize. Get some marshmallows for that one.
The narration in the movie actually says, like, if it's true, if he's telling the truth, then it's a major part of that story that's never been told before. Like, huge piece of that puzzle. So, but we couldn't corroborate it. And with a lot of this stuff, you're never going to corroborate it because the people are either dead or they don't want to talk about it or they're too old to talk about it.
It was August of 1978. Our shift started at 10:30, and as I left the sheriff's office to head out into my area, I got a call to go to a house on Lincoln Street East, which is Route 30, US 30. And when I got out of the car and met the people at the house, who were obviously distressed, what they described to me was hearing rocks or something hit the roof of their house.
When we first started seeing it, it was, I would say, between 6 and 7 foot tall, covered in hair. It still had facial features. It wasn't completely like a rag mop, over the face and everything. But it probably weighed a good 400 to 500 pounds, I'd say, maybe more, you know, muscular. Because you could see it wasn't like.
Here's what I would like for you to do, because you're far better at this than I could ever be, since I'm just pretty much YouTube media only.
Completely disagree, but
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't think. Well, no, I mean, you are talented.
I'm a one-man army, whereas
Yeah,
you have a director of photography now. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
That's fun. Well, it's just my buddy. That
Yeah.
it's one of my best friends actually. So like, I am lucky in that like most of the guys that work on my movies are dudes that I grew up with who love the fact that we're getting to do something fun together that we've always wanted to do.
Huh.
So that's
cool.
how
You're lucky.
That's who the crew is that I've got.
That's still a crew, though.
Yeah, it is a crew.
So what I would like for you to do, since you're a documentarian, kind of, right?
Yeah.
I guess you are.
That's yeah. Sure.
I would love for you, but it's not small town. That's the only thing. What I think we talked about this a little bit about E. Walker, that missionary.
Yeah.
That wrote back to his church back in 1840.
Yeah.
That was in Washington, detailing what the Chinook Indians were saying about the Skookum, the mountain devils, about Mount St. Helens, and how they had to hang their salmon extra higher because these giants would come down and take their fish and things like that.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, it would.
But there's no town.
Well, there's no town, and who am I going to talk to?
Well,
I mean, that's
yeah, a seance would be it.
get the Ouija board.
Yeah.
Interview a Ouija board.
We need that missionary E. Walker to talk to us and tell us.
That is one of those stories though that I love, and like you and I talked a little bit of like that historical stuff is what really continues to keep me thinking maybe there really is something to all of this.
Right, because I've always said the truth of Sasquatch lies with the Native Americans, not white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males making YouTube videos.
Yeah, I am so
saying,
not white though.
Aren't you? Where are you?
Just kidding. I'm so clearly white.
There's some bushes over here. Show me what you are. Oh, poor Seth. He's a good sport.
I'm hanging in there though.
Yeah.
It's like 20 below
I'm really
zero.
harmless. I don't bite. I might bark, but I don't bite.
No, you have no bite.
I don't know how I feel about that. I've got no mojo. Okay, I think we turn left here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're working on the Mothman now. When's that going to be finished?
It should be finished actually by the end of March, but it'll probably run a little bit into April and it'll be out on June 2nd.
And where can people see these movies of yours that you've made?
They're all on Amazon and Vimeo on demand. And available on DVD at smalltownmonsters.com. Boy, that is a killer shot. Look at that.
Yeah.
I wish I was
Great lighting.
directing this.
I wish the stick was longer, but hey, it's all about how you use it, right?
They said he or she.
He or she. It is San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, okay, real quick, we're about to get back to Bigfoot Bonanza. So, Bigfoot wordplay. I'm going to name some names, and you have to say what comes to your mind immediately.
Okay.
Good or bad, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ready? Hit this person pass.
Go ahead. We're just
All right.
2 television stars. No big deal.
Patterson Gimlin film.
Hi.
Was it Richard?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was supposed to... Anything?
What comes to mind?
Okay.
Ready? I'll do it again.
Okay.
The Patterson Gimlin film.
Feet.
Matt Moneymaker.
Bud.
But.
Well, it's just because that picture you showed me earlier.
Finding Bigfoot.
Still on.
The Minerva Monster.
Great.
Abominable Snowman.
Great. It's a great movie.
Oh, I was talking about the actual creature
Oh,
itself.
I thought we were talking about Hammer Horror.
No.
I'm a movie guy.
Okay.
All right. Abominable Snowman.
Oh, okay.
Non-existent.
Okay. Legend of Boggy Creek, the original 1972 one.
B.
Like
a B movie.
B movie.
It's
really?
a total B movie.
See, I think that's one of my favorite scary Bigfoot movies.
I
'Cause
think
the arm through the window and the guy's on the toilet.
See, nothing about it scares me, but I think it's the best Bigfoot movie by a mile.
It never really doesn't scare at all.
No, it doesn't scare me at all. But I didn't watch it as a kid. I didn't watch it until a few years ago.
Right.
But I think it's a great movie. I think.
And here comes John Freitas.
Interrupting my
I'm so sorry.
insight into the legend of Boggy.
We have a warrant
We have what?
A warrant?
A war?
A warrant. What's a warrant?
A warrant.
Yes.
A warrant.
Get in there.
What's
a warrant?
A warrant.
God damn it!
What the hell?
Forget it! Fight's about to break out.
Yeah, I tried to follow.
A war? A what?
What
He
the
wants
hell?
a warrant. A Ford?
Someone's been drinking.
I'm listening to strange right now.
I know, the weirdest. What's that?
The stranger speaking.
Oh shit! Oh, well, that's the end of our show.
I just realized.
So be sure to comment down below, give us a thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe, and check out Seth's Bigfoot movies.
Yes, please. Please check them out. One of them's free. Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yeah. Whitehall.
Awesome.
Amazon Prime.
Perfect.
We went to bed. We had bunk beds.
Uh-huh.
She's on the bottom bunk. I'm on the top bunk. And I woke up to her just going, Crystal, Crystal. And I sat up, and there was this huge, I couldn't see anything but like the silhouette. It was in our doorway, being backlit by the hall light. I'm wicked nervous.
I'm here to do one thing, is to bring one of these creatures back. I don't want to talk right now.
So don't get mad.
Just keep the camera off right now, okay? I said I don't want to talk. You got it? Joan, get me a Snapple.
Oh, Tom Biscardi, you want a Snapple? I got one for you. Hold on. Yeah. Might be a little warm. Hey, my little Squatch monsters, it's time to shake up the Bigfoot community. This is Off the Rictor. Bigfoot's your forest friend? Are you kidding me?